Greetings, survivors. I have installed two modlets, the Sorcery and the CCTV by Zith. Uh, that CCTV, Zith CCTV, is not um, SDX model. That's very important. Uh, I'll go into that a little bit. Now, there is this warning here, patch for progression XML from mod sorcery did not apply, xpath equals progression skills 1. Uh, that is not a problem. This here is something here causes mesh problems. Um, it's a pretty common problem with Ravenhearst. It happens. So SDX. Now there are two ways of doing mods. Let's see, there's a zombie there, but she's going for the passage there, and that's good. If they travel through there going in this line so they can go from one passage to the other, that's fine. That means they would avoid the vineyards, and then I'm okay with it. So there are two ways you can change 7 Days to Die. There are XML files, which are text files. It's a structured text. XML comes from structured markup language or extended structure markup language, something like that. And code changes. Now, the FunPimps intended the game to be easy to mod, to modify, um, for people to create variants of the game. Um, with whatever, however they'll like to change the game. No? Um, yeah. And that's why they use XML for a lot of things. XML allows you to easily change a lot of things in 7 Days to Die without changing any code, without knowing how to code. Um, you just have to understand what the configurations are, and you can change that. And I mean, there are a lot of things you can do. For example, all of this was made just with XML. Well, the images, the models, those are uh, Unity images and models. That's something else, not text, but um, that's the basis of the thing, you know? Um, you can use XML to introduce this into the game. For example, you have your model and you create an item just using configuration. You don't need to change code. Now, SDX is something that allows you to change code of the game. They had some quest markers. That's way up north, right? No, that's way up south. Okay. I really have to explore and find more quests. Um, I do wonder where. Suppose I can go there and drop by the drop chest here and get more of it. let's decrease the volume here somewhat so I can keep talking. So SDX is something that was created to allow you to make code changes to the game. By code, I mean uh, programming language, specifically C#. Um, it's it's much more complicated. Um, it requires more knowledge. It's not actually hard. I don't think this is one of the animals I need to kill, but whatever. You lost, buddy. Some of it can actually be pretty simple, but it's just the amount of knowledge you need to begin with. It's more, and it's much easier to make serious mistakes trying to do that. So it's harder. It's harder. Now, um, I want to get non-stackable stuff to move to the bike. Um, this and this and this. I don't particularly like that poster. Don't care for it really. This is not stackable. This is almost not stackable. And then all the car stuff I can only get if I range a car. I cannot get it by looting. So that's makes good candidates to move into the motorcycle. So SDX are code changes. And then there is the normal XML changes. Now up to Alpha 16, an XML mod required you to you would edit one of the XMLs of the game, and then you would replace the XML in the game with the one you have edited. So um, the overhaul mods, generally speaking, do it this way, still do it this way, um, for various reasons. It's easier for them to do so. So if you look here, let's enter temp mods here on Jack Stellar. Um, just a second. I don't want the clay soil. Um, pause a little bit. So this is a Ravenhearst 5.0 distribution. Um, it has some modified resource assets. These are models and images and things like that. It has modified DLLs. These are code changes. And you see here SDX core, SDX payload. This is modified using SDX. Mods DLL is also part of SDX, what SDX generates. Um, Now there's this mods thing here, and this is Modlets. But we'll get to that. And then we come here and there's prefabs that are added by Ravenhearst. Uh, Unity 3D files, these are resource files, models. And when I say model, I mean this. It's the 3D thing. It's not flat. It's 3D. It's the movements associated with it, um, lights, triggers, a bunch of stuff associated with animation and 3D games. Now, on config, these are the XML files. Um, each of these files is the original file from 7 Days to Die, Alpha 17.1 in case of Ravenhearst 5.0, modified um, with whatever changes Ravenhearst introduces. So this is not a file with just the changes from 7 Days to Die. It's not a file with just the changes. This is the whole file that is going to replace the original file in the game. Now, I can, I'm not going to open this. There, I'm full now. Now, Alpha 17 introduced something called Modlets. Modlets are a way of introducing XML changes to the game and models as well, but it's the XML that is the big deal. Uh, it's a way of introducing XML changes to the game without having to replace the whole file. On a modlet, modlet, I mean, it can have images and models, but these are full files. Um, the interesting thing on a model is on a modlet, sorry, model, on a modlet is that it can have XML files that contains not a full replacement, but a set of changes that need to be applied. So for instance, if you want armor to be better to prevent bleeding more effectively, you can make a single change and you can make a very small XML file that contains just a change to the armor and say, oh, um, for these armors, you're going to change the effect resistance from 9% to 15%, for example. And the file has just that change. And what this allows, this thing of providing just a small change, what it allows, and I'm curious about this police car here. Oh yes, yes, Sorcery mod is in, baby. Sorcery mod is in. As it happens, one cornmeal is useless to me, but I shouldn't really be looting because I don't have space for anything. I might have space for feathers, I don't know. Some. What uh, this thing about just providing just the change to the XML instead of the whole XML, what it allows is the ability to combine mods. Are you a lady as well? Still alive. Okay, not anymore. Some cash there. I can actually use that. And since I killed the wolf earlier, yeah, in fact, I have so much meat that cannot carry more. Um, no, I cannot carry that. Uh, let's throw this. We got a little bit of cash. So imagine you have a mod that changes the armor to be better. Someone else has a mod that adds a new kind of armor. Just to give an example. It's indicating there's an airdrop here. No, that's not. There's an airdrop here. Hmm. It's close to the base too. Must have. No, the one from today I got after Horde Night. It's 80, 85. It's just after Horde Night. So I got the one from today. That's probably the one that I said must have fallen and I didn't notice because I was um, concentrated on what I'm doing, and because of all the restarts I had to do, the icon had disappeared. So imagine you have a change to the armor, someone else has a change that introduces more types of armors. If you're replacing the whole file, then either you have your own file that makes armor better against bleeding, or you have the whole file from someone else that adds a new type of armor. But if instead of providing the whole file, you provide just the change, then you can have both your change that improves the armor effectiveness against bleeding, and that someone else changes that adds new armor. And depending your own change to improve armor against bleeding might even work with that someone else armors, despite the fact that you never seen that thing before when you were writing your change. Um, so that's the modlet that was introduced on Alpha 17. It's a very powerful thing, but it's just for XML. It does not cover code. So Ravenhearst and many other mods are SDX mods. They do have changes in them that are they do have changes in them that are changes in code. And one thing about SDX mods is that you cannot apply SDX twice. So if you have a game that was changed by SDX, you cannot change it again with SDX. Um, there is no intrinsic problem with SDX allowing a change to happen twice. It just doesn't do it. Uh, it's code. You have to, if you want something to work in a way, you have to code it so it works in that way, and it wasn't coded like that. Now, what it means is there are a bunch of modlets, quote, open quote, modlet, close quote, available on the modlet manager on the mod launcher that are not, in fact, modlets in the sense that they are only XML changes. Um, but instead, so silent. Instead, these there are some mods there that are in fact SDX mods, though they're done in a different way. I will need something just for the spells. There's something else I need to do about spells, but that's gonna wait a little bit. Books, clothes, farming, food. What is something that was... Containers. Let's see if there is something that looks special. Maybe I can just paint it, right? Yeah. Weapon crate, storage. Storage box. It uses nail and wood. So return that, get the nails, and I think it's made here. Storage. I'm gonna use a plain storage box and get these repair kits. Why is this car stuff still on me? Cars are going to be overloaded again. I was looking to make an engine. There is one thing that was missing. Pistons, right? I still don't have pistons. Engine. No, these are fine. Engine block, cylinder head, oil pan and oil pump. Cylinder head, oil pump, oil pan. And engine parts uses piston. Crankshaft I have, spark plugs and nuts and bolts, but no pistons. And they cannot be crafted. That's curious, because I have been wrenching a lot of cars and with a crowbar, and I haven't gotten piston yet. So maybe I should do it more with more dedication. do it like I mean it. So on the mod launcher, there are if you go on the modlet manager, there are things there that are not modlets. So you have to be careful with what mods you add. And that's why I say that what I said that um, it was very important that the CCTV mod in particular does not require, is not an SDX mod because it will not work with Ravenhearst since Ravenhearst already has SDX. I'm gonna place this here and I'm gonna choose I really need to move this thing elsewhere. It just doesn't fit there. Oh. I hate it how I cannot... No, whatever. So we have these things here. I think I'm gonna use the explosive ones because I'm never gonna paint. I'm not gonna use explosives. I think they suck. Ah, come on, not in that direction. You know why it's in that direction? It's because I rotated this thing. Nails too. For a moment I saw the pattern, the paintbrush, and I thought it was a box. Okay. No, that's not okay. I'm gonna do it because I think I now know the rotation, but honestly, that's the last time I do it. Last time I expand my door hinges on that. One. And then paint. That's correct now. So drop this here. Now, sorcery, it's not easy to make a mod that is compatible with Ravenhearst. I mean, something big as sorcery. Um, the way sorcery's author, not sure I can pronounce that name. Let's see how it's spelled. Oh no, that's sorry. I was thinking of someone else. So Devrix, which is sorcery author, um, oh, of course. I was looking at this stone and thinking, where the hell came this stone? I thought I had put everything away. It's just from the block I just broke. That's that. Okay. Everything else is food. So he made his mod in a way. He made changes to his mod uh, to specifically enable it to be used with Darkness Falls and Ravenhearst. And it was my intent to play Darkness Falls with this mod. But since Darkness Falls is taking a long time to become available, version 2.1. Um, I decided I'm basically over with the skills. I still have skills I'm gonna acquire. I'm gonna finish the archery stuff because it's OP. Um, I might do deep cuts because the katana is really nice. Charging bow because I think sometimes I do exactly what the charging bow says you should do. But Deadeye and gunslingers are interesting. But honestly, these are all, when I say they are interesting, I'm really stretching it. Honestly, there is absolutely, I mean, just because of the openness of this, so I can do the silent runs, there's nothing else I want, really, from Ravenhearst skills. So, given that, I decided to go ahead and install Sorcery so I have more stuff to do. I'm in no hurry, however. So Sorcery ended here. So this is the Sorcery stuff. Because I added this while um, I didn't start a new game with the sorcery, I added it to my ongoing game. I do need to get something from creative. It's called Purple Book Sorcery. No, okay, Sorcery Intro Purple Book. So I guess this is the Purple Book. Source the rig sense something very different in the world. You feel very different. Read this ominous letter to discover what the hell is going on. So I'm gonna read that, and you should get this as when you start the game with Sorcery installed. So Sorcery the Awakening 105. Survival, there is little time to explain, so listen carefully. You've noticed by now, have you not? The world is different. No, I'm not talking about the animated corpse or vomit spewing hellspawn. There's something much worse on the horizon. The first blood moon, that's when it was discovered. Essence. The elders believe essence to be life and creation itself. Whether or not you buy into this bullshit, you won't survive much longer as a mundane. Take this and we'll meet again. Unknown. So accept, and now I have a quest, and I have to gather fire essence, and I work in Fire Essence by learning Essence Mastery found within the Sorcery skill tree. Only by mastering Essence you can sense and harvest in the very earth around you. Let's start with fire, shall we? Although it can be discovered in trees and boulders, Fire Essence is best found in the burnt forest, coal, and oil shale. Now, coal is going to be easy here, and in fact I have an oil shale mine as well. Yeah, so I guess that's, I'm going to be okay. Uh, Let me continue to drop stuff here. I really need to make this stuff and then sell it. Yeah. So this goes here. There it goes. There it is. And keep radiators here, I suppose. And the odd looking bones are I've actually moving them here. And battery here. Wow, this is empty. Interesting. Let's get some feathers. Then come here, get the sticks, and let's do crossbow bolts. Steel gloves here for sale. I do have one of these. I have not one. I have 3 of these. So left one there. That's fine. Sell the others. These will stay here for now. No, this is the meat cleaver. This is the difficult one to find. Yeah, better take this to the trader, sell some stuff if he will buy it. There's a lot of that I have sold him already. He's full of it. The trader is full of it, yeah. Let's go get that airdrop and then we'll be back here. Oops, this is not the road. This is not the road you want. Said Obi Ben Kenobi. Oh, Ben Kenobi. Wow. 35 fires. Quality 35 spellcast. Honey. Sham. A nice spell. Now this I can scrap, but I think it's pretty good. I wonder if the airdrops were changed entirely or things were just added to it, or if I have a sometimes I'll get sorcery airdrop, sometimes I'll get something else. All of that is possible. And I'm also wondering whether you can actually get pistons at all. I should probably check that on the XML. So there is a drop chest here, remove it. Yeah, got everything here. I should have destroyed that stupid thing. Yeah, that's my house. No, that's my house. I should destroy these boulders as well. They're in my way. I don't like taking the asphalt there. I should really fix that asphalt. Now that I think about it. No, I didn't leave anything here there. Crowbar. Now, there are things I want in Ravenhearst still. It's just not skills. I want the schematics for other vehicles. I want the parts for other guns. I think I can now return the audio here. like the sound of my bass. But it suddenly seems so much louder. uh, so there are things I want to do in Ravenhearst still, but I want something significant to put my points on. So that's the goal behind sorcery. It is not the goal, however, behind CCTV. Now, CCTV, it does come with it does come with recipes. So you have all these recipes here, and then you have the cams. So you have up to 8 cams, and there is like small and large. I have no idea what the difference is. And you see when I search for CCTV, there is normal and large. So maybe there are more than 8 options, depending whether you use small and large. I don't know. I'll have to figure out. But there is something that is inside Ravenhearst, but it's not active. It was deactivated before 5.0 was released, which is the remote switch. For good reasons. For good reasons. The remote switch in particular, I think a lot of things were disabled because of the remote switch. If you use the remote switch on some kinds of blocks, some specific types of blocks, it will break the game. It will throw exceptions. So if you search for remote, I mean, there is the radio, but not the switch. It is, however, I believe, in the game. So let's see. The remote switch tool and the remote switch. So I'm gonna craft that. Well, I cannot craft it. I have to get it from creative, but I'm gonna use it. So I'm gonna do something similar to the range. Let's also do this. Glass jar. Why in the heavens did I not add more raw iron to the forge? Okay. Resources, glass jars. I'm gonna get 500 of these, 60 minutes. Leave the bones here for now. These 2 sets of bone are gonna transform. And I think I'm gonna sell some leather as well. So, the recipe for the range is 4 mechanical parts and 12 steel. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get 4 electrical parts, because I think it's more appropriate for the remote switch tool. and 12 steel for the remote switch too. Now the remote switch itself, I'm just going with the recipe for a switch. So mechanical, electrical, and screws. I already have the mechanical, electrical, and screws. Oh, the customized fittings, I had forgotten about it. So modify, take this off, put this on, word, be happy. And I'm gonna make switches. I'm gonna make a couple switches, and then again I'm gonna replace those with remote switches. I suppose I could have made a range and then replace it with a remote switch too, except that I chose electrical parts and not mechanical, because this is mechanical, this is electrical. So there's that. So I have the switches, and then I'm gonna get 2 remote switches. I'll throw these off. Now we're gonna go upstairs. I'm going to place switches here. Um, yeah, I think this side, because this, after all, is the entrance. Cannot be picked. There is not a single set of doors that have the spaces available for it. So I guess it's gonna be here. I'm gonna make another switch because it was my fault. No. This is what I wanted to do, not press R. Okay. It's going to be like this then. Now I'm gonna get this, and you see it looks like a range. So I click on the switch and then I go down to this 4. I'm gonna click on one of these switches. I'm gonna click on another switch. I keep wanting to go the other way. Okay. That's all that I need. So that's still working. That is very bugged. How in the heavens? Like it's all of them. These platforms are bugged as hell. It might be related to the mods that were added. Definitely. Still. Now I can do this and it will turn the switch there on. And same thing with the other one. See, it's on. And I can turn it on or off anywhere I want. I doesn't need. I can turn it on here and turn it off down there, or turn it on down there, turn it off here. That's what I wanted, so that I can simply come here inside. I'll prefer to be outside, but yeah. So I can simply come here inside and turn it on if I happen to forget it to do it on Horde Night. So I'll have to do the spotlight thing. I'm gonna make a note here. Um, that was very strange. Okay, Sorcery the Awakening. Gather Fire Essence 1. Now it says you have to put points in sensory mastery. Awaken Fire Essence within 3 boulders gold and oil. You now sense and have a chance to harvest Fire Essence. No, not gonna get my stuff for mining auger and everything else because it's already late. So iron mine, you can see all the iron on the ground. It goes all the way here. Let's see, and here. So all of this is iron. All of it. Well, it's gravel and iron, but it's the iron mine. Now, on the corner here, I place a light here so I know where this entrance here, and then there's this light here to indicate the way back, which I really don't need at the moment because I barely started mining here. There's still more iron here. It's here. So yeah, more iron. But this is oil shale. Well, it would be convenient to get some sand because I'm out of sand to make concrete, you know? started digging down by mistake here. That's stone. If you look at the map, I'm not in the desert proper. I'm in a desert spot in the frontier between the desert and plains. Iron here. We get this iron. As long as it's not on my head, I'm fine. Okay. Just make things a little bit wider here. Yeah. And get some sorely needed sand in the process. No! Oh, because it was connected to, yeah. It's connected to a gravel behind it, so when I remove the block that was a little bit below it, iron and shale combined. Okay, so until I have a point in the mastery skill, I cannot gather fire essence. I can loot it though, so I think I'll be able to loot it faster than I'll gather it, to be honest. Okay, so that's um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's less than that, but should be enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Goes all my sand. And coal goes here, shale goes here, soil does not go here. Cement does go here. I need to melt this, but that's just gonna have to wait. This goes here. And that's that. And that's that. It's going to be all for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Oh, thank you for watching. Just a small outro. So, came to the trader, sold stuff, and I'm now getting rewards for the quests I have completed. And there's this one, a quality 116 crowbar. That's amazing. says the armor I'm using is -6 compared to this one. That would mean 0. It's like I'm not using no armor or it's all destroyed. Um, I'm going with the armor. I have a better mag. I mean, I was going with the Magnum, but I have a College 121, I believe. Despite the fact that it's not having a lot of... It's not being easy finding those. Uh, there is one tier 4.
I'm in a bit of a quandary. Can you help me?
I'm gonna
Well,
accept the
alrighty
tier
then.
4.
Let's get the ball rolling.
Nah, it's a normal tier 4. I'm looking for the gyrocopter tier 4. But that's interesting. Sell this fire axe here.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Well, yeah, the stats doesn't make sense. Well, this guy's gonna get worse and worse. At some point I will need to switch armor. For now it's okay. Second outro. The trader has some spellcasting related stuff. So I have a rune here, which I think is a mod for spellcasts. Gonna buy it. Have to do something with my cash. Gonna get one solar bank because I think it's time. My solar bank is full, so it's time to go on to the second one. I think I have second one at the base, but I'm not sure. And then there is like this clothes sorcery shirt. That was actually pretty expensive.
Safe travels.
Let's see. Yeah, this replaces the BDU. I don't oppose that. But this one is gonna replace my steel boots. Armor rating 9. Armor rating 5. Yeah. It's better quality, so I might be able to put some stuff on it. So, well, that was outro number 2.